A war of words escalated this weekend, and it spilled into today between the leader of our state, Governor Tim Walz, and the leader of our country, President Donald Trump. Walz is playing the role of a reactor this time after Trump called him an offensive slur. Trump used that term on Truth Social, where he called Walz a name that demeans people with intellectual disabilities. Trump also claims Somali gangs are roving the streets of our state. All of this is just the latest back and forth between President Trump and Governor Walz, centered around Somali immigrants in our state. Here's Danny.
Dating back to his first campaign in 2016, President Trump has often criticized Somali immigration to Minnesota.
With large numbers of Somali refugees coming into your state without your knowledge.
Nearly a decade later, Trump has escalated those attacks again. First, he vowed to end temporary protected status for a small number of Somalis without permanent status, citing fraud cases in Minnesota that have involved defendants of Somali heritage. Then, on Thanksgiving Day, Trump posted to Truth Social that refugees from Somalia are completely taking over Minnesota, blaming Walz and describing the governor with a word deemed offensive to people with intellectual disabilities.
Using that term is just so damaging.
On NBC's Meet the Press Sunday morning, Walz then pushed back against Trump's portrayal of Somali immigration, which accelerated in the 1990s after the outbreak of civil war, and now numbers at least 80,000 in Minnesota.
And created a vibrant community that makes Minnesota and this country better. But that's Donald Trump. Deflect, demonize, come up with no solutions. He's not going to help fix anything on fraud.
Later Sunday night, President Trump again referenced Somalia during a broader conversation about his administration's decision to pause all asylum claims in the wake of last week's National Guard shooting by an Afghan refugee.
And they shouldn't be in our country.
What do you mean by those people? Can you
The
clarify?
people from different countries that are not friendly to us and countries that are out of control themselves. Countries like Somalia that have virtually no government.
Trump also defended his attack on Walz.
I think there's something wrong with him. Anybody that would do what he did, anybody that would allow those people into his state.
Walz's ally in Minnesota, U.S. Senator Amy Klobuchar, also took issue with the president's latest stances toward immigration.
We decided to blame the Somalian population, 80,000 of which, by the way, work in our schools, work in our airports, help take care of our seniors, and are the vast majority of which are citizens of the United States of America.
Walz and Trump also exchanged words this weekend over the president's health. Walz demanded Trump release his MRI results from this fall. Although Trump said he didn't know what body part had been specifically scanned, the White House provided a statement this afternoon saying that imaging came back normal, but the actual MRI has not been released. Jana.
It's just so strange to see the president and our governor, Minnesota, going at it like this. Is this just bad blood from the campaign when Walz ran as Kamala Harris #2?
Some could be spillover from the national campaign last fall in 2024. It also may just be the Trump administration clashing with blue states in Minnesota, having a visible leader like Governor Walz. This is one of many issues where they have not seen eye to eye, to say the least.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Danny, for breaking that down for us. We'll be right back.